Got a question? Ask Tom on Home Show Radio.
This is Home Show Radio live on Facebook and YouTube. Your questions, Tom's answers. Now here's Tom Tynan and Charlie Mosier.
And here we go with Home Show Radio, YouTube, Facebook, Live. Whew, that's a mouthful. We on the radio. We are on the radio every Saturday from 9 to noon and Sunday 8 to 11 on Sports Radio 610. In Houston, you can catch us on, you can go to our website and hit the Listen Now button. You can go on Spotify. You can podcast us. You can do all kinds of stuff. We're going to have Charlie, I'm introducing him now, come in and help me with all the technical stuff. And Charlie left town. Charlie is not coming.
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, there you go. I like on the news. It's breaking news. Charlie will not be here today.
Charlie's broken.
Yes.
You saying I'm broke?
I didn't say that at all. In fact, you paid me this month and it cleared. I'm loving it.
We're talking personal finances today. No, why don't you recap where to catch her on the show? That was the next step on the script.
Oh, I did. Saturdays and Sundays, on Sports Radio 610, 9 to 12 and 8 to 11. And we will not, like I did last week, forget about Danny Milliken on Garden Pros. He is going to answer your gardening questions. I listen to him. I'm an avid listener because I'm an amateur gardener. I enjoy it, but I am not going to answer gardening questions. We're going to leave that to Danny because he is the pro, and he has a bunch of pros with him that can help answer those questions too.
Speaking of pros, I remember last week that video I showed of the air conditioning and people pulling the condenser up the rope up along the ladder?
Yes, I do remember that.
I got another one for you.
Oh, I thought maybe you got a complaint. That was my house. Okay, what should we got this week?
I got another one for you. This is, I call this contractor moments of zen is what this boils down to. But you're going to love this one. Okay, this guy's doing some demolition. And, well, you'll see.
Yeah.
Here he goes. The chimney's going to go.
Yes.
And so is he. No contractors were injured in the making of this video.
Do you know what? Again? No, I can tell you that.
Play again. There he goes. Watch it. Here he goes. Bang, bang, bang. Boom. Done. Wipe. Oh!
I can almost tell you that was not done in the United States.
Oh, for sure.
Most of the videos that are hilarious of really bad practices are done overseas somewhere. I don't know what countries they're in.
Right.
And people will show them and people go, what part of the country is that in? We have better standards here. I can say we probably have the best building standards in the entire world. In fact, I can say that with a lot of confidence. So when you see that stuff, look at it closely. Don't think that's your neighbor next door because it usually doesn't happen.
Well, my first hint was the construction of the chimney. Look closely at the chimney he's pulling down here. Yeah, yes. Don't think that's the US of A right there. No, but
and I'm looking at the toilet that went with it. I'm looking at a lot. At least they had a toilet, but I'm looking at a lot of different things there in the background too.
Flushed out of luck there, but I got another. I have another one. I have another one for you. You're gonna like, but this one is from the United States. But we'll get to that.
Is this
in
a new
while.
twist or how not to do things? Okay.
Yes, I'm thinking. Well, I'm figuring if people watching this show, they're probably getting the impression how not to do it already. So. We'll just gotta.
Yes, this is the How Not to Do Home Improvement show.
Exactly right. Exactly. No.
Some ways it is. You know what? You're right.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get to the questions. What we're doing is we're answering questions that we get. Where is they move the buttons around me here today? I say they.
Somebody touched your equipment. It had to be you.
I organized it to make it so much easier to work with.
I think if anybody went in your office and moved your stuff, they would be fired. So don't touch my stuff.
Sandy will tell you that something will sit on the counter forever, and she'll think I forgot about it, and she'll move it. And I'll say, hey, where did that thing go?
I totally understand.
All right. So, hey, I'm just like our black lab Shadow. He does the same thing. All right. So where we get these questions? We get them right here. We get them from the Ask. You click on that blue Ask Tom button. You fill out a form. You send it in, and we answer your questions with videos. In fact, we have a video here today, and I don't see where her button is. I gotta go find her video while we're doing the show here. I can fix that while we're in mid-flight. All right.
Okay.
So let's get to our first question here. Our first question comes to us from Stephen in Sugar Land. He says, my house was built in 1975, Tom, and it's 100% electric. It has 100% electric range, he says, but I do not have a gas meter or any gas lines installed in the home. Is it possible to retrofit a home for gas? My neighborhood does have natural gas lines. Several of my neighbors have gas ranges. I guess Stephen wants one. What say you?
My answer is absolutely. Now, why it doesn't have gas and it's in a neighborhood that does, I can only speculate, but 1975, that's too far for me to really comment on. Some people hate gas. When they build their home, they just insist on all electric. I have been down that road with clients before. Totally understand. I don't think it's a fear that you should have, but everybody has fears, and I don't want anybody not sleeping well at night. But as far as that goes, you certainly can call. If it's here in the Houston area, I assume it is. If not, then your local gas company. But here would be CenterPoint. They take care of the gas hookup. You can make arrangements with them. Also, you're going to need a plumber. Plumbers run gas lines in the homes, and they're probably going to have to run all the lines, and then the gas company will meter it up. But I still want you to make that call first to make sure there's not a restriction of some kind on your house. I don't think there will be, but CenterPoint can probably answer that with just your address. And as far as that goes, then you call a plumber, and Abacus Plumbing, if you're in the Houston area, they can run all your gas lines for you, whether it's the barbecue grill, your fireplace. It just depends on accessibility.
Fair enough. So same thing goes. It's like when you get if you go from a tank to a tankless, they got to run new gas lines for that too, don't they? Usually, I mean,
plumber would do that. That would be a plumber's job, and it's going to be a bigger line. So usually they have access. They just find a place to connect and then run the bigger line, so it has more volume of gas. So it's not quite as involved unless the gas lines are so small in the house from way back when. Then they have to go all the way back to the meter, and that can be rather expensive.
Okay. All right, let's get to our next question here. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do
you seem distracted.
I am because I've got this little
I can
bucket
tell.
Here.
We've been working together too long.
I'm not using this for the rest of the show, so I'm putting this over here.
Okay, fine.
But I am using this button. Now I can see the buttons. This is much better having it up here. All right.
Well, we're glad you're happy.
Ricky in Irving. That's our next question.
Yes.
He says, Tom, I'm considering building a pier and beam house and using tongue and groove flooring, then sanding and staining it. Do I need a subfloor, or will this be okay?
I've done them without a subfloor, and the old, we wanted to create a farmhouse look, because that's what used to happen. And you can certainly use a 2x6 center match is what it's called, and that's the tongue and groove. It's structurally sound. You might to make sure you 100% use adhesive on the top of the floor joist, then put it down. They'll pound it together, and they'll nail it as they go. So it's not only mechanically fast, but it's also got some adhesive on there too to hold it nice and tight. And you can sand it. You can go ahead and finish it. I'd recommend a sealer and a wax to keep that old farmhouse type look, or that old historical look. It's easier to maintain. The glue keeps it from shrinking and swelling too much, but remember, and also keeps it flat, by the way. Don't use a urethane on it. It'll cup like crazy. So you want to make sure it's a wax finish so it breathes and it moves evenly when it does move. And that's what that tongue and groove is. It's supposed to move inside of that so you don't see the movement. But sometimes over the years it will shrink and you will start getting gaps, and dirt and stuff will get down in there, and you're going to have to just deal with it. But that's the beauty of those old floors. That's what they did.
I wish I had a nickel for every time we've gotten that question about
Really?
why do my floors cup? And invariably, it's that urethane. Everyone wants that nice clean finish on top of the wood. They get that urethane in there, and it cups the wood, keeps it from breathing.
Well, they'll say, oh, it protects it more, and it does this, it does that. Mm-hmm. But what happens is the top can't move, the bottom moves, so the corners start to cup. Because the top is held really tight, it can't move. And so it causes a real problem, and you have to refinish it. Mm-hmm. The other thing with wax is if you get one spot you really hurt, like say with a plant, you get water all over it, it turns black, they can sand that down. They can go ahead and use an oxalic acid. They can get the color back to where it was, put the sealer on there and just blend it. and then just buff up that area. With urethane, you have to recoat the entire floor, and if it goes from room to room to room, it can be quite the maintenance issue. Make a mistake and have a problem, especially if you have pets.
Speaking of cup, I'm going to take a sip of my delicious
There you go.
Roastex coffee here.
Cheers. I got water. Roastex coffee.
It's good.
It's too late in the
I
day, man.
I wonder where you can get that Roastex coffee.
Well, why don't we have the maker of it as a guest?
We should.
Or is he an importer? Or is he a dealer?
No, he's a
He makes it.
Yeah,
Is he out back with a grinder like
He
this?
is.
That's
He's
Jim
got
Hardwick, by the way.
Jim from Ideal Roofing. Yeah, okay.
Ideal Roofing.
He's the guy. All right. Hey, just so you know, if you want to get your questions answered here, we'd love to get them, and you can do that just by going to the comment section underneath and adding them, and they should come up here on the screen. I will tell you, not to bore you with the technical details of this, we're doing a couple things different with how we're feeding the show today. We're testing out a new platform. And Tom hates when I talk about this stuff. So next question.
Well, you said not to bore you, but you will anyway. Okay. It's just the way you do it was a little odd.
I got it. Well,
Okay. I'm not going to tell you, but let me tell you. I'm sorry.
Remember, I can take you out. All right. So what I was saying is we're testing out a new system here today to feed the show, and so if you put in questions and we're not getting them, we'll find out. We promise if you enter questions, we will answer them, and we'll work out the hooks, the hitches, and the get along here. Okay.
I'm good.
Done being bored? Next question comes from Ken and Humble. He says, we have double pane windows, Tom, which were about 15 years old. One of the windows will not stay up, and I can see an aluminum clip on each side are out of place compared to the working window. The company we bought them from, of course, is out of business. Any suggestions on who we contact to get something like this fixed?
The sash springs have sprung, so to speak, and they can be fixed, but I'm not sure who you can call to fix them. I'm not sure who's in that business, but here's what I would do to kind of lead you down a road. This is what I would do if it was mine right now, because I'm not sure who's fixing them. And if you don't have the right tools or a replacement spring, which you might not be able to get, then you might be out of luck on it. And so I would call a company that replaces glass in windows. We have a certified Home Show Pro glass doctor. I don't think they're going to fix the sash springs, but because they're in the business, you can say, hey, we talked to Tom. He told me to call y'all. I've got this problem. If you don't fix it, do you know someone that you refer your clients to? Because invariably, it happens when you break a window, sometimes the sash springs will break also. So not only will the glass get replaced, but there's going to be some repair on the panels and the springs that make it go up and down and stay up when you want it to stay up. So give them a call and see if they can lead you in the right direction. I bet you they might be able to.
They are amazing with the number of things that they do. When Tim Johnson, who is the ace business development guy who gets most of the people on the show, he comes in and he gets these people signed up. And hang on a second, I got good news for you, and I'll share that with you in just a minute here. But
Jim's bringing you coffee.
Jim's bringing, would that were the case. No. We got a little surprise. I'm going to spring on you here in just a minute, but
I'm fine. Yes.
Yeah. When Tim brought that guy in, I thought, well, great. He's gonna be able to fix windows, and that's great. But no, I mean, like you're saying, he can fix those old aluminum windows, the mechanics of them, the shower doors, rolling glass doors, and all that stuff. So if it's glass, they fix it, and that's great. Glass doctor. By the way, Wouldn't it be great if all those Home Show Pros could be found in one place, kids? Well, good news, they can. Just go here to HomeShowRadio.com and scroll down. You'll find them all right there. There's a glass doctor right there. And click on that, or you can hit the Find a Pro button, and it'll take you down here where we have them organized by category if you're phonetically challenged on the name of the company or whatever. So we have a new home show video that we're premiering here on the show today. I'm saying we're premiering it here on the show. It's been on the website about 3 days, but we're going to premiere it here. It's brand new to you.
I'm good with that. 3 days is premierable.
And it features one of our very best Home Show Pros, Trifection. They've recently did almost a gut and rebuild of a home, and this is the story about it right here.
In the end, I got the kitchen that I wanted, I got the location that I wanted, I got the open space that I wanted.
This story starts in the perfect neighborhood.
We looked for about a year.
The house they found was very nice.
They had been looking for the perfect house.
They had a vision of what that perfection would look like. This floor plan is not it.
I can have people in the kitchen, in the dining room, in the living room, and it still feels like we're all together.
Dark, closed in, old carpet, outdated. Adjectives all on her non-perfection punch list.
We removed walls between the kitchen and the living area and columns that were beneath it, as well as into the entryway into the living room, just create a more open concept.
To watch them take the house from where it was down to the studs sometime and really see it in its raw form and then bring it back to what it is now was amazing to watch.
This is the stage of construction most homeowners have trouble with. Transformation takes time and patience.
Rather than search forever for the perfect house or try to build a new custom house from the ground up, if they could partner with the right remodeling company, they could turn the inside into exactly what they wanted.
The result, an open concept with a common thread: perfection.
This house is our dream home.
Custom remodeling crews that turn dreams into dream homes. That's what makes Trifection a certified Home Show Pro. For HomeShowRadio.com, I'm Tom Tynan.
In many slip between the cup and the lip, we actually had Jeff teed up here, and he was going to join us. I'm going to see if he can reconnect with us. But that video,
I love the shower. It's the first time I've seen it. I know I voiced it, and I did it, long distance wise. But the shower looked great. I'm into big showers. You get in those little tubs, and guys like me, we're not that good in there.
you're not connected. Try again.
Are you texting?
It's a live
beautiful
show
thing.
right here. I'm in touch with our guest right here.
Yes. Maybe
I'm
my
in
phone
touch,
will ring too.
So you'll be in touch. Yeah. Yeah.
There
So
you go.
yeah, and it's an example. One of the things that they do over at their at Trifection is they come in and they can completely rearrange the inside of a house. We are about to undergo that process at our house. We're moving out of our bathroom.
Ooh,
And for about
we
6
did that.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the challenge in our house is we don't have enough closet space for our house. They it's kind of like they designed the whole house and they got to that corner and said, well, I got this much for closet. All right, perfect. Done. And so what Jeff's doing, oh, here he comes now. Hang on a second. So what Jeff is doing,
He's walking down the street.
yeah, he heard me.
Here
He
he
came
comes
in. There's
down.
Jeff Roberts right there. He's driving down the road in his car and out in the yard somewhere. But anyway,
Yeah, that's a good look.
that's a good look.
The
I
eye.
can't hear you. Can you hear me, Charlie?
Hear you loud and clear, Jeff.
Smooth.
So he's having trouble. Yeah, you know what? It's a live show. We're trying new things.
And he's alive.
Hang on a second. I want to kind of get up.
Hey,
closer
Jeff,
to
can
it.
you hear me?
Here we go.
I sounds like y'all are whispering. If I'm
Okay,
screaming
Jeff.
at the phone, it's because I can't hear you.
Have Dan call me.
Okay, he hasn't called you yet?
He called me and I lost his number. Have Dan call me.
Okay. I was telling him, Jeff, about what you're about. We were talking about that
He
project.
can't hear
there.
you.
He can hear me. He can hear me. I can hear because I can hear him bubbling back. But anyway, I'll turn me up a little there, Jeff. How's that? Any better? Anyway, so Jeff, we were looking at the Bogue House and what you did with that. And one of the things I'm amazed by is that you could take all those pillars out. And I guess, did you have to do things for the structure of that to take those walls out? I mean, were any of that load bearing?
Well, it sounds like you're asking about the walls that we took out in the living room, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to open up the kitchen to the living space. That house was built back in the early 2000s, and they were just beginning to get away from all the compartmentalization that they do, that these mostly production builders do. But it still wasn't open enough for the homeowner's liking, so we took out several structural walls and just really opened up that space between the kitchen and the living room. So it when you're entertaining, it's like everybody could be there all at one time and not having to go in and out of the kitchen to be with the group.
Well, I was telling Tom about our bathroom project that you're about to start next week at my house, and the closet in particular. You want to tell him about the closet that you're building at our place?
Well, we're going to build we call it a closet, but it's really a custom set of cabinets that Charlie very much customized to fit all his cowboy hats and his boots and all those fancy clothes he wears. But it's a big wall of cabinets that are going to be utilized as a closet. Very efficient use of space. And fortunately, Charlie had the room to do it. A lot of people may not have that kind of space to work with that, but Charlie did.
Well, we're glad you found a space for all his tuxedos and his beautiful custom-made suits. We're good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my monocle. I look like the guy in Monopoly. That's me. Anyway, no, we're looking forward to it. Jeff says we're going to be without a bathroom for about 6 weeks, and so it's going to get messy.
You have 5 bathrooms in your home.
Anyway.
You got plenty of bathrooms.
Anyway.
You can use a new one every day.
Jeff, how is that house you're building coming along? We talked to you at one point about the home you were building from the ground up. How's that project coming along? What's the latest on that?
Well, fortunately, we've had some pretty good weather, so we haven't had much delays from weather. The roof is 99% finished. We're waiting for some special roof jacks to go on the plumbing vents. The brick, they were 3 cubes short of brick, or we would be done with that. So I'm waiting for that to show up. And we're basically, after that, we need a few inspections, and we'll be working on the inside. It's coming along great. I mean, way better than I expected.
Well, as did go this experience with you. We'll work on the volume and stuff. I appreciate it. I threw this at Jeff this afternoon about an hour ago. I said, "Could you be on the show today?" And that's Jeff. He does he makes it happen. So thanks for coming by today.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jeff.
you having me on, guys. Tom, I'll make sure Dan calls you. I'll make sure that
Thank
he
you.
leaves his phone number this time.
No, he did. It was
Mighty-
my fault. I erased it. My fault. I got a new phone, and I don't understand it. Totally my fault.
Okay.
But please have him call me.
Jeff,
Understood.
He only marginally understood the last phone, so it's just
Yeah,
more.
it just didn't get any better.
All right, Jeff. Hey, drive careful out there, buddy. We'll see you soon.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Talk to y'all later.
Jeff Roberts from Trifection, our home show pro for remodeling and all that. So it's cool of him to come in. And
He does a great job. They're doing a custom cabinet for my laundry, like you're getting for your clothes. I'm getting it for my mops and trash bags and things like that.
I'm still trying to figure out what he was talking about tuxedos.
Oh, your fancy clothes.
I'm a fancy guy. I'm a clothing
Yeah, I
horse.
know.
All right. Next question.
Charlie, by the way, I didn't get a new phone. What happened was it said, it's time to update. So I said, okay. And after it was updated, I looked at it and it was totally different. So I've been making a lot of mistakes with it.
What? Just curiosity. What day of the week? I'm serious. What day of the week did you do that update?
It was at my last. It was a Saturday. Would have been the day.
No.
Why?
We have a rule here that we don't do updates between Friday and Sunday.
But it was my phone.
I know. I don't.
Oh,
run
is that
updates.
why? Because it becomes such
No.
a mess.
Yeah, because if it happened during the week, there are people to help you, and we don't ever run software updates on Friday because we want your show to get on the air every weekend.
Well, I have to.
No software
That's
updates on
true.
Friday.
I understand that. I had to turn it off because my lieutenant said, "Hey, you're in drill. This is a drill weekend, and I don't want any phones on." So I said, "You know what? I'll update it, and I'll just put it in my pocket, and it won't ring." And it updated, and I couldn't call my wife on the way home.
Mission accomplished.
I couldn't figure it out.
Mission accomplished. I put it in there, and I can't even use the damn thing. That's
And
perfect.
It worked. Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. All right, let's get another question in. We got a couple more questions for you. Got a real stumper around the corner that I actually talk to Will Burns at Right Touch Electric. That's our last question. But in the meantime, here's this one from Greg in Northwest. He says, we want to get rid of the hard water stains and buildup on our water fixtures. Do you have a preference between salt-based water softeners and salt-less water conditioners? Is there a brand you recommend? Sorry if you posted it. I couldn't find anything on the website about it. I'll have to talk to Zach about that because I know there's stuff up there about this. But what's your recommendation on this, Tom?
There's a lot of filter systems out there, and they kind of cross the fence a little bit saying they're softeners, or they actually don't say they're softeners. I've listened to these commercials lately very closely. What they're saying is they can replace the softener, but they don't say they soften the water. And they can't because it doesn't. Salt softeners soften water. They don't filter. So they're selling it on the idea that this is a one-size-fits-all everything, and you don't do that. A water softener needs salt, and it will soften the water, and it takes all the hardness out, all the calcium and all the minerals, so your water's soft. It doesn't filter out leads and pesticides and things like that. That's when you need a K5 drinking water station, or which is a reverse osmosis we get from Connecticut down at Aquatex. But that's for filtering, and that's for drinking. You don't want to filter all the water in your house because you would have to go through all these replacement filters on a regular basis because you use so much. So water softening for the house, water filters for anything you put inside your body and ingest. And I always recommend a chlorine filter on the back of the shower heads for people when they take their showers. They're not breathing the chlorine. It doesn't steam up. You replace those about 2 to 3 times a year.
Now, I saw a while back on, I call it Home Improvement Unlimited. It's This Old House, where there's no budget. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want it, we'll get it. And because we're watching this season right now they're doing where they're rebuilding this house in Rhode Island. And it's like they're redoing all the woodwork. Oh, now we're going to put in this intelligent wiring, and we're going to put in, how about a pool in the back? How about a putting green? Oh, let's put up a shed. Let's. I'm like, what kind of money these guys get? Anyway, point is, they had a citrus-based system that they were promoting a couple seasons ago. Do you have any experience with that? Because I think that would be the only logical thing I would think other than salt to soften the water.
It doesn't. And have you seen any advertised lately? Probably not.
No.
It came.
No, but I only listen to your show. Yeah.
No. If you really look, they tried to hit the market. They tried to get out there and tell everybody. Let me tell you something about the Northeast. The Northeast, for the most part, has naturally soft water or slightly hard water. It doesn't have the type of water we have throughout the Gulf Coast and most of the other areas all the way into California and stuff. And in Texas, since we deal with that mostly, our water is super hard here. None of those systems will even come close to taking care of the problem we have to take care of here. But that system, there was a lot of money injected into it, a lot of advertising. I love the guys, Tommy and everybody from This Old House. They're staying on the air. It's a lot of fun to watch. But they are financed. These guys don't, it might be public television, but these guys make some money on this. And those people that get highlighted on their shows, they spend a lot of money because it is purely advertising. I don't care what anybody says. I'm in the business, I know. And nothing wrong with that. They have to stay on. You have to look at the test of time, and we've always done that at Home Show Radio. If it's been around 20 years and proven, I have no problem with it. But when these things come and go, it's a lot like if you watch Shark Tank and you see Mark Cuban say, is this vitamin proven? Do you have test studies?
Oh, God.
Is this just a thing? Have you seen them, right?
Don't get into a nutraceutical conversation with Mark Cuban. Whenever I hear somebody doing that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be ugly.
Yeah. And I'm not that bad, but I do have to protect our listeners and the people that watch us. So I'm very particular. I want to see it tested and used over a long period of time with great results, because we already have stuff that is affordable, usable, and I know what works. And I'm not going to experiment with your money, and that means the people out there, or yours either, Charlie, on something that I can't say for sure 20 years from now it's still going to work.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What they were doing on this season in particular, this house they're restoring, they're having to go back and it's in a historical district
Yeah.
in New England, and that makes HOAs in Texas seem laid back. Okay.
Yeah, no kidding. That's true.
So, but they're having to do things very precisely to conform with the limitations they have there, and that's why some of the systems they're putting in the house kind of surprised me. But there it is.
Well, it's funny you say that because we're about to start a historical preservation program down in Brownsville, Texas, because that's one of the oldest cities. We don't have a lot like they have in New England. We have a little bit in Galveston. We have a little bit in Brownsville at Fort Brown and the areas down there. But we didn't have any cities back then. So that's the big difference, is the age of the state.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yep.
Yeah.
And the pluck of the people. All right, I got another question for you here. Let's get to this one here. This is kind of a stumper. I want to see what you think. This comes from our neck of the woods, Milford, New Hampshire. Dave.
I was
writes
born in
to
New
us-
Hampshire. I like it.
That's what I'm saying. Our neck of the woods. You were born there, and I spent my formidable years there from
That's right.
8th grade through high school. Anyway, we met some nice people, but anyway, we have. Dave says we have a 250 volt GFCI breaker feeding a new Bullfrog 8 hot tub that is tripping intermittently. There's about 150 feet of Romex from a sub panel to a box with a 250 volt GFCI, then 15 feet to a new hot tub. The breaker is tripping with no apparent cause. He says the full load is 38 amps with all the heat and pumps running. I can cycle through all the buttons with no issues. The GFCI trip happens at night or during the day, or every 3 or 4 days, or every day. He says, I've purchased a leakage detector to troubleshoot it. What should I be looking for as far as this tripping is concerned? What do you think, Tom?
I think it's the hot tub, the spa. A lot of people don't realize it, but it is got a little heating system that runs all the time. It keeps it a certain temperature so it doesn't get too cold, and it has a little bit of a conditioner in there, so they never ever really turn off. You just don't know that the bubbles aren't bubbling and the pumps aren't pumping, but it does have a system in there, and I would probably have it checked more so than the line itself. I'd have a spa repairman troubleshoot it, and then maybe they'll find something with the line, but I have a feeling it's in the appliance in this case.
Yeah, I was...
Did you talk to Will on this one? What did he say?
Mm-hmm. That was
What
one
did
of
he
his.
say?
That was one of his 3 suspects.
Yeah,
And
that's the first thing
yeah.
I would do. If it was mine, anytime you have a GFCI blowing and you have things plugged in, I always suspect the appliance first. You
He
have
also-
to rule that out. Can
yeah.
you imagine having to rewire your house, do everything and everything and everything, and then you plug it back in and it does it again? You want to check your appliances first.
2 other things in this question he zeroed in on too.
Yes.
Is number 1, the full load is 38 amps. And he wonders if he's got this on a 40 amp breaker. And he says, because if it's a 40 amp breaker, he says there's not enough headroom in there. He says, you want to put a 50 on that. And he wonders if the Romex he ran out there is a sufficient grade, because he said that's a long way to run Romex. And he was concerned that might be an issue. So
And I'm wondering
that's
if
what
it's
he
even
said.
outside. If he's hanging Romex outside and they're plugging a hot tub in, it's not a smart thing.
Yeah,
if
I was
it's
gonna
running
say,
through a wall
right.
of a house, going through the attic, it's all protected. I don't know. It could be a 40 amp breaker. Yeah. Can you just pop a 50 amp breaker in? No, not if the wire size isn't
No,
right.
right.
So it all has to match. But I'd still start with the appliance first. Whoever you bought it from, make sure that.
Do you want to get that? Is it? It could be.
No.
It could be Dave calling about your remodeling project.
No, it's Dan.
Dan.
No, it was Will. Anyway, it was actually one of my students. I'll take care of that later. But as far as that goes, I would definitely manufacture and have it checked first. And then if you do need an electrician, sure, they can put their meters in. They can check it. They can make sure that the breaker is meeting the standards. They have electric codes to take care of that. But this isn't something like, hey, the switch isn't working, let's put a new switch in. This is going to be a little something more delicate. And the other question is it just started happening, or did it happen all the time, that kind of thing? Did it just plug it in, or did it was fine 5 years and all of a sudden started doing it? Then you're back to the appliance.
Now, I promised you another moment of contractor zen when we started the show.
Yes, you did.
I'm going to share that with you in just a minute, but first, let me tell you how to get questions here on our program and how to be, because Tom and I use these questions that you send us here to HomeShowRadio.com. You click on that blue Ask Tom button. It takes you to this page, and you can send a form or a video. Tom and I, when we're done doing this, are going to record a week's worth, and we have a video that somebody sent in. We're going to be answering that question. And we post a new one every day at HomeShowRadio.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. You can find them there. In fact, there's hundreds and hundreds of them on our YouTube channel. Some of them, and you can see Tom and I going through various stages of weight loss and weight gain if you're savvy and you go deep enough.
Yes, you can.
And learn something at the same time. So it's almost like an archaeological dig when you go through there. But you'll find a lot of helpful information there on our YouTube channel. So, you ready for this
Charlie,
one?
I went to, wait 1 second.
Yes.
I went to an RCW personal appearance one time. They're having, how they like to give out their barbecues, and it was a different time before COVID, it was pre-COVID. And an older gentleman came up and said, Tom, I've been listening to you forever. I've been visiting you here at RCW for 20 plus years. And I see this year we get the skinny Tom. I'm either wondering if it's going to be the fat Tom or the skinny Tom. He said that right in front of Sandra. In fact, that's the year you came out with your Sandy, and we ate together. But I remember him saying that. The fat Tom or the skinny Tom? And so that time it was the skinny Tom. Right now it's the skinny Tom. But there is the fat Tom, and you can see it at HomeShowRadio.com.
Santa Tom, we used to call him.
Santa Tom. That's
I would
right.
say that, but right now I'm kind of in the Santa mode myself. So
I'm not saying anything.
But Tom, if you take a look, Tom has definitely toned up here, and is I'm following in his footsteps. More about that as the pounds shed away. So, all right,
good.
You said all these are from Europe. I've got one that I know is from right here in the U.S.
I said out of the country. I didn't say Europe.
Okay, I'm sorry. Somewhere else. Okay, Here's one that I know is from the U.S. of A. Because this guy, his approach is uniquely American, if you know what I'm saying.
Could be.
So
Yes.
I want you to watch him and see if you notice something he missed.
Oh,
He's standing up there on a forklift, putting up this board. How do you like that nail technique he's got going on there?
Well, they actually do that, and it kind of irritates me, but they're trying to get it done fast.
Right, but you know what? He can't remember if he did that first one. Yeah, I'll do some more with that.
That's
maybe
a
one
lot
up
of
here.
nails.
Yeah, that thing ain't going nowhere. Except, did you notice something about his nailing? Watch it again. Let me play this again. Watch carefully where he nails.
I'm disturbed about him standing on the plywood because they make racks for that. And you can stand on a forklift because we certify forklift people in my program, and there is a special forklift rack that goes on where people can stand and get to things. That is really dangerous. If he stands on one side too far, you can imagine he's going down and he's going to get hurt, and that's the sad part.
I'm sure the Air Apostle people really appreciate the marketing value of him wearing that shirt too.
Yeah,
So
okay,
let's
fine, yeah,
watch it carefully. Watch where he nails and notice where he doesn't. Down, okay, got the first one. Then coming down this side, across the top. Hey, go down the side here. Okay. How about some down the middle? Yeah. Did I do that one over there? What the hell more? Okay. You notice somewhere he missed?
What are you talking about? The top
Yeah.
or the bottom?
The top.
Yeah. Well, he can't reach it.
I know, right?
Oh.
So, and given his excellent attention to detail, I'm sure he's going to go back and get that later, right?
Oh no, I hate to see that, but it's he's not working on my crew, so I can't say anything. I don't.
Let me
like
tell
to
you how
pick apart
you
stuff.
can avoid that calamity in your life. Go here to HomeShowRadio.com
Yes.
and scroll down to where you'll find all our Home Show pros. They're right there. Now, these people don't use a forklift and a piece of plywood to get up high to nail things. They do it the right way. You know why I know that? Because Tom Tynan said it's okay for them to be on here. And we have a pretty detailed exam they have to go through before they can be on here. So if you're looking for people you can trust, that's the place to go. If you're looking to get your questions on the show, go back here to the website and click on the blue Ask Tom button. And it'll take you to this page, and you can fill out a form or send in a video, and we will post your answer or use it here on the show in the weeks to come. So that is our deal. And you want to run through your weekend plans one more time?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the air, sitting right here in this chair, in this room, with this poster. Like, I got it right that time. With this poster behind me saying 6:10 a.m., and that's not the time, that's the station. And I'll be on from 9 to noon. Danny before me. This is Saturday now. I'll be on from 7 to 9, kind of warm up the crowd. And he does a great job. In fact, he gets a big crowd going. Unfortunately, they're all gardeners. And when I come on, they go, oh, we don't want home improvements. We're gardeners. And so then I have to get all my home improvement guys in, and it's a lot of fun. It actually works out well. It's a good crossover. And Sunday, Charlie will be with me from 8 to 8:30. We're going to answer. He has some guests. We do some interviews. He does a great job. We do it together, and then from 8:30 to 11, I'll be answering your questions on Sports Radio 610.
You have no idea how hard this is, ladies and gentlemen.
That's so it's just uncomfortable because it seems so
difficult.
wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, so, all right. Well, that's going to do it for our little broadcast for this week. We'll be back again next Thursday at 4 o'clock. Remember, you can catch our stuff anytime you want. And Tom didn't mention, by the way, over if you have one of these, where is it? Right? One of these, you can use the radio.com app and listen to Tom anytime your heart desires, or go to HomeShowRadio.com and click on the listen button, because we have it streaming 24 hours a day of home improvements. So there you go. That's our show. We'll be back next Thursday. Thank you for being here, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday right here on Ask Tom Live.
Got a question? Ask Tom on Home Show Radio. Home Show Radio. Free advice from a pro.